Welcome everyone, Farmer Cop here. Today we are going to test and see if your tire brand matters as far as your tractor's performance goes. If this is what you're looking for, please stay tuned. Alright folks, in front of me I have a Claas tractor. We're going to take a look at different tire brands. So right here I have standard for Nokian tires, standard for Trelleborgs, standard for Michelin, and for Midas. So yes, this is a mod, and I know I said I wouldn't do these tests on mods, but there's a reason I'm doing it on this one. We move over. So these are part of the Claas expansion pack. We're using we're not using that guy. That's right, I'm using the medium one because it has the most options. So we're using this guy right here. You can see I have 4 owned. The reason being it has all the different stuff in it, and it should be programmed the way Giants programs all their other vehicles. So this kind of give you an example. So I have Trelleborgs, Michelin, Midas, and Nokian. So Nokian test to be over pretty quick because yeah, obviously there's only one test. I don't anticipate these doing anything crazy. They're mostly for kind of more road type stuff, but we'll see. We'll test them anyways. We'll test them the way we have been testing everything else. So under Trelleborgs, we'll do standards against standards. We will do wheel weights against wheel weights, hopefully wides and weights, rear twins, and then twins all around, and then narrows. So we have several options in here. I won't keep you in for everything obviously because there's a lot of tests we're going to end up doing. So we are going to use our testing hill over there, so I'm going to get that set up, and then I will bring you guys back in just a moment. All right, folks, here is the setup we're going to use. We're going to, essentially, and if you haven't watched the other ones, go watch the other 2 tire test videos I did. They're linked down below, and they'll also be linked in the end screen at the end of this video. So anyhow, this is our setup here, and the reason we're using this is because it's going to be in the same spot every time. We're going to pull this here. So then, essentially, after I complete this test, I load out of the game and I load back in, and this stuff is here, and I switch the tires out using the workshop trigger, and we start from the same position every time. So what we're going to pull, since the tractor we're using has 205 horsepower, we are going to pull, we have been using this guy, but that requires 400. We're going to try this because it only requires 300 horsepower. I don't know where the 1000 new vehicles was, but anyhow, so we are going to go ahead and test this from this position, and then we're going to stop it once it gets up to the top. We'll go ahead and actually adjust this maybe a little bit over. Yeah, I think that's more square there. And again, we're going to save that now that we're going to start from here. And this is where we're going to start all the tests from. So we lower down the cultivator, and some of you have, so a couple of things, a couple of you have said, is to test this on fields, because this isn't necessarily the most realistic situation, or test it on flat ground and stuff like that. Those tests may come in the future. This has just been what I've been doing for now. I do want to test different terrains to see if it matters with wider tires or not wide tires, you know, and everything like that. So I do want to test that. Another thing to note, someone did say that the reason for going with narrow tires would be you're not damaging your crops. Very true. But again, this test isn't to see what damages crops or not. It's just to go over a couple of basic things. So this thing lowered into the ground will still take the same amount of effort to pull as it would if you're plowing in like a grass area or on a field. It's still going to have that animation you'll see in a second of it cultivating. So it's still going to require that same amount of horsepower to do that, if that makes any sense at all. But that's just kind of something I just wanted to put out there as a disclaimer. If you don't like the way I do my test videos, you don't have to watch them, but I'm trying to just do them the best of my ability, and there's so many different aspects, so many different ways to test everything. I just don't have enough time in the day. And again, continue to comment down below. You guys have left me a lot of great comments about what you guys want to see tested, and I'm happy to do that and look into those. I can't promise that I'm going to test everything, because in the last couple of videos I've done that are test videos, I probably had 30 or 40 suggestions of new test videos to do, and I can only do certain ones. So this one was also a suggestion to test tire brands, but yeah, there's just tons of them. So all right, we're going to go ahead and test this out. So we're going to see how long it takes to pull this to the top here. So 3, 2, 1, and we're off. And another person did mention that so as you see, it is in the ground there, so it's still doing what it's trying to do, is trying to cultivate. Another person mentioned that right about here it lifts out of the ground for a second to give a little bit of a boost, or somewhere in the path. As long as it does that for every tractor, it won't affect the test because it's consistent across the board. As long as this never gets to the full working speed, we are good to go on it, which full working speed on this cultivator is going to be, I believe, 9. Okay, 9 miles an hour. So, all right, we're at 31 seconds now, continuing on. And again, Nokians aren't really designed for a lot of field work. And it looks like there probably is some good, as you can see, the front tire looks like it's moving quite a bit faster than the rear one, so there probably is some good wheel slippage. I did test the benefits of using weights and stuff like that, so yes, I understand if you're working on hills like this, you're probably going to use a weight. Again, I can't test every aspect of everything, so we're just going to run this test just the way it is and see kind of what happens. And right there is right about where I'm going to stop. So that put that one at 58 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and get the next test rolling in here. We're going to do the standard ones with you guys here, and then I'll test the rest of them off screen. So I'll see you guys in just a second. All right, here we are with standard tires, Trelleborg brand. So we're going to go ahead and hit this test go here. So 3, 2, 1, and we are off. So again, I'm also watching that speedometer to make sure it doesn't hit 9 miles an hour at any point, which I don't think it should. Yep, it's not going to hit it after that. So, yep, 13 seconds in, 14. Keep going, check this out and see how it's going. But yeah, I'll leave you guys in here for all the standard tests, and then I'll go do the rest of them off screen, and then I'll bring you guys back in and we will compare the results and go over them. So, I am glad I chose this cultivator versus the Amazone, because I think that this guy would really struggle to pull the Amazone uphill. All right, it's getting close. It's definitely going to beat the communal tires. There's much less wheel slip in the front, which is fantastic. And again, that goes away if you use weights. And there. All right, 48 seconds. So I was almost 49, so I'm going to write 49. It was 48.99, so I'm going to write 49 seconds down for that for standard. Okay, so I'm going to load back out, and I'll bring you guys back in for the standard Michelin test. All right, here we are with the standard Michelin tires. So we're gonna go ahead and test these guys out. 3, 2, 1, and we are off. So these guys cost $2,000 extra to get these in standard compared to the Trelleborgs, which are kind of the standard or base tire. I don't know how you want to put it, but so theoretically these should do better. I mean, it's a brand. It's not necessarily anything else other than that, but we'll see if it actually matters if you have a different wheel brand or not. Might be close. We're at 26 seconds now, and it does have a ways to go. 30 seconds. 35. Ooh, it's going to be pushing it. 39. It's got 10 seconds to beat it. And here it comes up. Oh, we got a lot of slippage right there at the end. 48 seconds. So not... Definitely, it was 48, just past 48, so definitely not 49 seconds. It was definitely, I mean, not a big difference, but a little one. You know, nonetheless, it's a little different. So, and again, there could be, I would say, plus or minus, you know, 3/4 of a second on each one, just because, yeah, there's going to be some human error. I'm hitting, you know, start and stop on a stopwatch, so it just kind of is what it is. But, yep, let's load back in and get some Midas tires going. All right, here we are with Midas tires. So 3, 2, 1, and we're off. So the Midas tires didn't cost any more. They're the same price as the Trelleborgs, if I remember correctly. Just buying them just now, they didn't cost any more, like the Michelins did. So who knows? Maybe they could be the worst or the same as the standard. I don't know. We'll see if it actually is worth it to buy different brands other than just looks. I know me, I'm a big guy as far as looking at tires and looking at their looks and different stuff like that. But yeah. So it doesn't look like it's having a lot of wheel slip on the front, which is a good thing for it. And by wheel slip, I mean I'm just kind of looking in general and seeing, you know, because right now they look like they're both going about the same speed, the rear and the front tire. But if they go different speeds, that's when it's concerning. Because if the front tire is going a lot faster, then that's kind of a lot of wheel slip in the front. And let's see. Okay, that was definitely won by far. That was a 46 second, just over the 46 second mark. So. Okay, I'm going to test narrows. I'm going to test standard with weights. I'm going to test wides. I'm going to test wide with weights. I'm going to test rear duals, and I'm going to test all duals on this hill. Now, again, other applications, wheel weights, all that stuff is stuff to be considered. But if you combine this knowledge with the video that's linked down below where I did the testing on tracks and weights, if you combine the knowledge of the weights improving certain aspects and different brands improving at certain aspects, you can kind of come up with a combination that works for you instead of me having to test every single possibility. Because yes, I'm sure all of these would perform better if they had front weights on, or most of them would. So yeah, it's just one of those things. You probably would have a front weight on it. So just be aware of that. But yeah, so I'm going to test. I have, let me see here. 15 tests to do. Yeah, I have 15 more tests to do, so I'm going to do all those. It'll take me a while loading in and out, but I will do all those, and I'll bring you guys back in after I complete those tests. All right, I just finished off the last test, which was all duels with the Midas tires. So let's take a look here at this chart. So first off, for the knock-ins, standard 58 seconds. They were the worst of the worst, which makes sense because that's not really what they're designed for, and they didn't have any other options for knock-ins. But then let's go down to, so let's just look at narrows now. We'll look at each category and then we kind of knocked out the knock-ins. So for narrows, there's none available for Midas or knock-in, as we already know. Trelleborgs were at 63 seconds and Michelins were at 61 seconds. So if you're looking for narrow tires, Michelin are the best option. Then moving past that, the chart kind of consistently, or for the most part, is in favor of Midas. But yeah, we'll just keep going. So standards, the worst one after knock-ins is Trelleborg. So Trelleborgs are 49, Michelin 48, and Midas 46. So Midas are 3 seconds faster than Trelleborg. So Midas might be a good option. Now, if we do standards with weights in the tires, Trelleborgs are again the worst, and Midas are again the best, and then Michelin's are right smack in the middle. Again, it's a second difference, but still. Then moving over to wides, Trelleborgs tied with Midas at 43 seconds, but Michelin's win in last at 45 seconds. So they may not be the best option for it. Then going with wide tires with weights, the best option was Midas at 39 seconds, and then Trelleborgs were actually the next best at 40 seconds, then Michelin were the worst at 41. So strange. Then going to rear duels, we had 43 seconds for both Trelleborgs and Michelin tires. Midas tires were the best, beating them by about a second. Then all duels, both Trelleborg and Midas were the worst at 37 seconds, and the Michelin beat them both by a second at 36 seconds. Now again, if you really like the look of the Midas tires, which I thought they were going to really dominate the all duels test, but they did not. Now looking across the chart a different way, narrows, so if we look at Trelleborgs, narrows at 63, standards are better at 49, standards with weights are even better at 42, then wides go a little worse for a second at 43, then wides with weights are the best now at 40, and then rear duels are at 43, which is the same as wide, so they're beat out by standard with weights and wide with weights. So rear duels are not as good as the weighted tires, at least for this specific test, and then all duels are the very best at 37. And I believe that's pretty consistent across the board, but Michelin's narrows at 61 and standard 48, then standard with weights are now the best at 41, wides at 45, wides with weights tied with the standard with weights at 41, then rear duels at 43, so they are not the best option either. Then the best of the best is all duels, and same down below, 37 seconds is the best for Midas all duels. But if we go start at standards, standards are 46, then 40, then 43, then 39, then 42. So yeah, it's better to go standard tires with weights than it is to go with wides, and it's better to go with wide tires with weights than it is to go with wides or standard with weights or standard. And then rear duels are better than, or not better, sorry, are about the same as the wides there, but wides with weights beat the rear duels, and standard with weights beat the rear duels, which is consistent across the board. And then all duels are still the best option regardless of what brand you're going with. So with that is going to be the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like down below if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button up on your screen to join the channel. Turn on your notification bells so you don't miss any future test videos or any gameplay videos or anything like that I may post. But yeah, guys, let me know down in the comments what you think. This has been Farmer Cop. Thank you for coming and watching.